John, when we talk about the potential to cripple satellites can be used to drive everything from weather forecasting to wars. You say this is something that would not impact those of us on Earth. Why should Americans be concerned about a Russian capability that would target satellites?
Any anti-satellite capability should be of general concern, because you're right, there are private and public satellites circling the Earth every day. They do a number of things. Well, you talked about you talked about some of them there: communications, command and control, transportation,
What's the U.S.'s
meteorological concerns, financial, commercial concerns. There's a lot of things that satellites do for the whole population of Earth, and so any capability that could disrupt that, and that could therefore have some impact on services here on Earth and across the world, should be of concern to anybody, I think, and including the fact that we have astronauts oftentimes in low orbit that could be at risk from an anti-satellite capability. So you're talking about potential human lives here too.
We heard from leading lawmakers, including those on the House Intelligence Committee, saying, among other things, that this is not a immediate term threat. This is not an imminent threat. It is a medium to long-term threat. When we talk about medium to long-term threats, so Americans could feel comfortable with the state of this information, what does that mean? What time frame are we talking about in terms of the concern?
I hope you'll understand I'm not going to get into too much more detail than I already have. I mean, as I said, I'll stick with what I said. It is not an active capability that is yet deployed.
Marion, we're going to get around. Thanks, Karine. I appreciate it. Heard some members of Congress describe Turner's actions as reckless. Given how you started this briefing, is that how you would characterize what he did yesterday?
I would just tell you that we have followed a very rigorous process about how to determine whether information can be and should be downgraded and shared publicly. We were and are in the process of that with this particular capability. And as I said in my opening statement, we're not going to get knocked off that process. We're not going to have our hand forced to get out there faster and further than we think is appropriate.
Are you concerned that all members of Congress now have had access to this classified intelligence?
That's really for Chairman Turner to speak to, since he made that decision to make it available to all members of Congress. This is based on...
That doesn't concern the administration.
Look, well, again, we'll let Chairman Turner speak to his decision about how to share the information. It is based on information that we, again, are still in the process of analyzing and sharing with allies and partners, and we're just not at a point right now. We don't believe we should be at a point right now to be too forthcoming in all the details of it as we work through this process. But as I said, as we do with every other downgrade, we'll get to a point certainly where we'll share with you as much as we can.
But just to clarify and to follow up on Jackie's point, since the chairman is now saying that some language was cleared with the administration, can you tell us what exactly he worked on with the administration and how wide that clearance was?
No, I'm not going to get into that, and I'm not going to speak for how he came to make this decision. We have a process. We're going to stay on that process.